Thank you all for coming or clicking this this video. My interest right now is in the major religions of the world, or our spirituality as a whole, through all men and women. Where is this all going to lead us? So, recently I've stumbled, and this is the beautiful part of the internet, is that I stumbled upon a site. It's called Rethinking Islamic Reform Event at Oxford University. So here is my chance, as this man sitting in Ohio, to talk with the scholars of Oxford. Now that's pretty cool. The Islamic scholars is what I would suppose. There are two people on the video, Shaykh, Hamza, Yusef, Hanson, and Professor Taiq, Ramadan. I hope I got the names right. And so it's a 17-part series. I'll put them below. And I will answer their thoughts on reforming Islam. I am not Muslim. I don't think I'll ever be Muslim. I'm happy the way I am. I really am. So, as in all religious traditions, I guess, what I should really do is start with a prayer, right? They started with the prayer at Oxford before all the students and scholars. So I'll start with the prayer here. And my prayer will be this: sacred mystery, into you I give my thoughts and my desires and my needs and my wants. May I be able to speak to the scholars of Islam with an open mind and an open heart, in a connected spirit. We are all related. In saying that, I would like to give a bit of a background about myself. I was born in Chicago, Illinois. I'm the 12th son of 13 children to Rose and Paul Dean. My name is Peter, or you could call me Pete. I grew up Catholic in a middle-class section of Chicago. My father was a sheet metal worker. My mother tended the home until I was about in 4th grade. Then she went back to school to become a nurse. I graduated from Catholic grammar school, attended Chicago High School, Bogan High School, in which I graduated last in my class. I was even behind those that they deem mentally retarded. After high school, I joined the military. For 4 years, I served in the United States Air Force, proudly. Was licensed in water and wastewater treatment by the state of California. Was married, got married during the Air Force, and had 2 children with that woman. at the time, 2 girls. Went back to Chicago, worked at a shit plant, wastewater treatment, for a couple years until I became a Cincinnati firefighter in the year 1993. At the time I had 3 children. I hate to say 3 children because I had a daughter also that I did not know about, that I was never told about, until I would find out years later when she was 17 years old. I worked as a firefighter, and during my time as a firefighter, I became an advocate for Hispanic Latinos that were being abused in Cincinnati. I became an advocate against violence in all forms. I became an advocate against racism on the highest scale. I became an advocate to bridge the gaps between the differences of race and religion. I had written a book, Hispanic Latino Issues of Cincinnati, which was accepted by McDonald Library of Xavier University. I have also written 3 other books: Letters to Larry, poems. They are poems when I was angry. Finding Ballermine. This is right here. Michael's Island, which is a compilation of all my artwork. I was also an advocate for arts in Cincinnati. And I have written Danza Blue Kachina, which still stands as a challenge to the leaders of the religious communities throughout the world to bring their books, and I'll bring my book. It's going to be down below. I will place it there. You could look at it. The challenge still stands. That's my life in a nutshell, as being a scholar. But I come here today, and I think that through the openness of our thoughts and hearts and spirit, we can bridge the gaps between us. As a scholar, I guess you gotta read books. So, what books will I be using while I discuss these issues with the people of Oxford on Islamic reform? These are the books I will be using that I hold sacred, and they are all equal, but there's one that stands above them all. Books I will be using will be the Glorious Quran, Wisdom of Native Americans, the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, the Holy Bible, and this just came out today. I hold this sacred too. Stephen Hawking's The Grand Design. And above all of them, I hold my own book as most sacred, Finding Ballermine, although much has changed since I've written it. So those are the books I'm going to be using to argue out the books, to talk about the books, to see where the books are going to lead us. We have so much going on. And in our basic humanity, we are all connected. Maybe not by the books, but just in our basic humanity. And I think the discussions today go much more deeper than just Islamic reform. They go much deeper than that. I believe the true arguments that we are having today are because we have totally removed the matriarchal ways from who we are as human beings. So how do we bring the matriarchal and patriarchal together equal? In Islam, in Christianity, in Judaism, in Buddhism, in your own stories, in your own story. In science, or is it already there in science? So those will be my books. I am looking for truth also, and in one of the opening remarks on the video, Rethinking Islamic Reform, the woman said God is, many Muslims consider God as truth. Truth. And I think in part 2, I will open up with the story about my own truth in Islam. From my book. So on to part 2. Thank you very much for listening.